Exodus chapter 1, verse 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Verse 9. In verse 9, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. They were watching. They're watching you. But God is watching over his plan for your life. Look at verse 10. In verse 10, come on. Let us deal wisely. That's the wisdom of the world. Wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also with our enemies, and they fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Everything it says was the supposition of man. But in that supposition, there is the understanding that Israel will not be in Egypt forever. They will go out. And where you are now, if it's not the final place of God's appointment for you, you will not stay there forever. You will come out in Jesus' name. And so he made a plan. We're told that this king, emperor, Pharaoh, that rose up did not know Joseph. Why not? A king, a leader, should be a reader. Read the history. You must know what came before you came. You must know how Egypt was preserved before you ascended to the throne. It was because of Joseph that God preserved the land. And Joseph interpreted the dream of the former Pharaoh and gave heavenly counsel so that they'll not perish in the famine that was to devastate the land for 7 years. And yet it says, he knew not. And many of us, if you don't know what you ought to know, you plan the way you ought not to plan. Our fears emanate from what we have forgotten. We have forgotten the goodness of God, the favor of God, the power of God, the promise of God, the calling of God upon our lives, and the goodness he had done for us in the past. It is that forgetfulness that makes us to go into self-management. Now we have worldly wisdom in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, reading from verse 19. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. This Pharaoh will eventually discover that his forgetfulness led him eventually to fight against Israel, against Moses, and to pursue them to the Red Sea, where he perished. His wisdom became foolishness, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Pharaoh was crafty. He was deceptive. His deception led to his own destruction. Let's beware and be careful after we have been saved by grace. Let's be careful we don't go back into worldly wisdom, self-management. How do you know worldly wisdom? James chapter 3 verse 15. In James 3:15, this wisdom descended not from above. Let us deal with them wisely. Pharaoh, that kind of wisdom to destroy what God is building up and to scatter what God is multiplying. That wisdom is not from above, but is earthly, is sensual, is devilish. Verse 16. In verse 16, for where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. Isn't that evil work? Telling the midwives, every son that is born, you kill. Every daughter, you save alive. That's devilish. That's not of God. That is of the world, of the enemy of your soul. Look at verse 17. In verse 17, it says, but the wisdom which is from above is first pure. Any kind of wisdom that makes you impure, that's not of God. Makes you righteous, that's not of God. Makes you cruel, makes you thoughtless, that's not of God. He wants us to have only the wisdom that is from above.